Welcome, everyone. This is the Ask the Experts show. We come to you every single evening, well, most evenings, Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my name is Hassani,
This is Jeff.
And it's Lakeisha.
and we are the Avengers for Couples Academy. We are the practitioners who come together like Voltron and make it happen. That's right. I brought in superheroes from all ages and all decades and generations. But that's what we do. We help to restore marriages all over the world. And so we want to know, as you're watching, where you're tuning in from. Maybe you're on the continent of Africa, you're in Europe, you're in South America, you're in the Middle East, wherever you may be around the world. We want to know where you are, particularly if you're in the States. So just give us your name, give us your city or state or country that you're repping so that we can get into the conversation. And also ask your question. We will have a real short session if we have one or two questions. That's what you're doing. We are here to serve you, but we don't want you waiting to ask your question. Jump in ASAP. But we do want to say Happy New Year. It is 2022. We're excited about what this year has to offer. There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to be unfolding and unpacking for you here at Couples Academy that we're really excited about. And while you get a chance to ask that question, what we're going to first do is talk about and share with you the Foundry program, which is the men's program that both Jeff and I will be leading out starting next Wednesday evening. So if you haven't registered yet, make sure you do that. That was unearthed, which we'll get to in a second. But first, we want to talk about the Foundry program. So take a look at this quick video, and Jeff will come back and give you further details. If you're a man and you have a pulse, then you need to join this program. You're a husband, you're a father, you're a leader. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have to be everything for everyone, but do you know who and how to be for you? You're still in search of your own significance. You're in internal battle with your own vices. You're questioning, do I even know what it means to be a man? I know I'm supposed to be there for others, but what about me? The fact is, you need a model. You need a code to live by, a system of principles to govern your life. You need an internal compass to guide your every decision. You need the four securities to build your own kingdom. What you need is the Foundry. In short, a foundry is a facility where castings are produced by melting metal, pouring liquid metal into a mold, and then allowing it to solidify. Well, this is where we're testing the metal of men. Foundry is a 12-week men's-only coaching program. It is a brotherhood that will take each man through a purification process of the heart, mind, and soul. We here at Couples Academy promise you that if you give us 12 weeks of your life, you will no longer recognize it. If you care about the improving of your life, your marriage, and your family, register today. That's right. That's the Foundry program. We're excited about it. Men are signing up from all over the world, from different continents, because we all have one thing in common. We want to be the best versions of ourselves so that we can show up in our marriage and our families and our communities the right way. So, Jeff, chime in, share with them what they can anticipate.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're really focused on is making simple frameworks that you can use as a guidance system for life. Now, I'm always talking about how we wish that our lives came with a instruction manual, very similar to our phones, our microwaves, our coffee makers. They all come with an instruction manual that kind of gives you an easy guide for setup and use. But unfortunately, our lives didn't come that way. And, our parents did their best. Our churches have done their best. Our schools have done their best. But it doesn't always shake out where we can find our happiness and our bliss. And balancing marriage and business and work life and family, somewhere along the line, it's gotten away from you. And if it has, this is the answer. This is a system that has worked for hundreds of guys, including myself, that has allowed us to find financial freedom, get ourselves back into the shape we've always wanted to be in, travel and do the things we've always wanted to do, move through companies faster, learn things much quicker, and live a life that is fulfilling. And that's what it's really all about.
Awesome. Well, we're excited about it. And so if you have any questions, make sure you click the link in the description. It is right there. It'll walk you through what the program is and how you can get started. I don't see any
I'm
questions,
so
guys. This may be
jealous.
one of the shortest shows ever. And I don't know. We may do a countdown in just a minute. But listen, before we do that, guys, how do you feel about being in a new year, 2022?
No, I just want to tell you, I'm jealous. Like, I want to be in the Foundry, but
Well,
you, I just want to.
you don't have to be jealous, Lakeisha, because there's another program that is called Unearthed. And before we get off of this show, we're going to share what that is. It's specifically designed for women. It's going to be an amazing thing that you can engage in. But I think we do have a question. Lindsay says, "Hello from Pacific Northwest. Happy New Year. I know that hammering my spouse with accusations, anger isn't beneficial. What are positive ways to deal with the hurt of betrayal I feel inside?" Lakeisha, why don't you take a stab at that?
Hey, Lindsay, how are you? That's my girl.
Oh, wow.
So, you are right that hammering, in your words, him with accusations is definitely not beneficial. It actually could make him shut down and not be open to receive what it is that you really are trying to get across. I think that the best way to deal with it is just be honest. Tell him the truth about how you're feeling. You are feeling hurt and you're still trying to recover from the betrayal that took place. And because I know your situation, it's just going to take time. And it is a situation where, too, he has to be ready. He has to be willing. He has to be open to receive what it is that you're trying to say. But you have to say it in a way that's not like a dagger in his back either. You don't want to keep making him feel bad about what it is that he did, but you do have to be honest about how you're feeling so that you guys can address it and deal with it so that you can move forward because you're still stuck in that place because it hasn't been appropriately handled.
Awesome, awesome question. Thanks for that. Like, we're going to jump to another question. Jeff, I want you to pick up on this. It's specifically for you. What are steps to overcoming personal issues from childhood that seem concrete in my life?
Okay, so there's processes for this. They're very similar to the discovery process. And Francisco, I know you know what that is. It's going to be an unearthing all the questions that you had, and you may not be able to get direct answers from the persons who have caused that childhood trauma. But the one thing is being able to unearth those questions and have them for yourself. And there's a process that we go through that's very similar in not so much this next program that we're doing, but another program where you're learning to let it go. So that process is kind of deep, and it's kind of hard to give you a soundbite, Francisco, right here on how to dump the pain from the past and move on to the future. But it takes a process, and if you want to reach out, Francisco, we can definitely discuss that. We can just set up a session for that.
All right, thank you very much. Next question from Ralph. How do you help someone get through the pain of the past? Well, whoever that person is that you're helping, number one, they have to have a willingness and an openness. We talked about this before. Everybody's recovery process is different. Everyone is on a different path. And so, for instance, let's just say that you are the unfaithful partner trying to help the betrayed partner get over the past. Maybe you're not the right one to help them in that journey because depending upon how recent they discovered it, they're in pain. And the last thing they want to hear is anything from you because it serves you, it's beneficial for you if they get over it. And so they may question your motive and your agenda and your intent. But that being said, you can still do the best you can to be a support, to be a listening ear, to show empathy, to give encouraging words, to talk about what journey you're on and how, maybe it's about acknowledging where they've come from versus where they are, but yet there's still a journey. You can make suggestions of things that they can do, things that you can do together. I mean, there's many things that they can do, but if there is a willingness on their part, they just don't know the how. I mean, here's the deal. Most people can't get over their past because they're always thinking about it, right? And they haven't properly managed their thoughts. And so therefore they struggle even emotionally, because the root of every feeling, every emotion is a thought. And so if they're allowing the scenarios to play out again and again and again in terms of what has happened, if they have these deeply embedded belief systems that have been shaped by the negative stories that they keep telling themselves, that's become cemented in their psyche, then they are trapped in their past and it's hard to let go. They're actually living their past in their present every single day. So it's really about learning how to retrain your brain, how to begin to manage this mind, and really control what comes in and what goes out. It starts with self management. And that's a general principle. And there's, as Jeff would point out, techniques that are specific to each person, because every person's struggling with something different. And so that's why I think it's important to work with a coach to help get you through that particular thing. Anybody want to weigh in on that? Anything else to say in regards to that?
Yeah, I'll just say I love the way the question was phrased. How do you get someone get through instead of help someone get over? I
Mm.
just want to point that out. I love that. The wording of that question. But I think it's go back to driving school. Go back to when you learned how to drive. You remember how cautious you were, how you were always checking the mirrors. You made sure you had your seatbelt on. You drove slow. You didn't speed. You took your time. That's what you're going to have to do. You
Mm.
literally are going to have to take your time. You're going to have to check in with that spouse to ask, how am I doing? You know, do you need more? Am I giving you what you need? But you're definitely going to have to be patient with them and just be there, be present.
Excellent, excellent answer. Mike has a question. What advice can you give the unfaithful partner when the significant other says, "You're doing so good, I can't trust you"?
Patience, brother. Patience. Because see, you're doing so good, but how long? We always say it here, and it's been said a million times. You know, trust is lost in buckets and gained back in droplets. So it's really about time. It took me 3 years before I didn't notice that she wasn't talking to me anymore. It took me 3 years.
Mm.
So just hang in there. It doesn't mean things don't get back to normal faster, but one of the best things that you can do is create a purpose for your marriage. And that is like, it's like a positive distraction. So, you know, create some kind of purpose and move towards that purpose together. It has to be mutual, though.
Mm. And here's the reality. I think everybody's situation is different, right? So we have a couple that we've worked with where he was doing all the right things, showing up the right way during the affair. The affair is over, and he's now doing the right things, showing up the right way. She can't trust it because she's like, well, you've always been doing this. So how
Mm.
do I know that you're doing it now separate from the affair? So the way that you would work with that couple would be uniquely different than someone who really hasn't shown up the right way and now they're starting to do the right thing. But now it's just like, okay, well, why are you doing it? I'm questioning your motive. To your point, Jeff, how long have you been doing it? And what's your angle? What's your agenda? What's your motive? Oh, okay, so you think you're going to do the right thing for a little bit to get what you want and then slip back in. So there's a fear that you may go back, slip back into over here. There's all types of things going on in the hurt or the betrayed spouse's mind that keeps them from trusting. But this is why we say it's a two-way street. It's not just about what the unfaithful partner does. They can dot every I, cross every T, show up the right way, and it still not be enough because the betrayed spouse isn't ready to let go. They're not ready to open up their heart to receive, to give their partner space to grow. They're still trapping their partner in the prison of their past. So this is why we say there's an individual journey that each person must go through to heal and to restore trust. And when that's done, it significantly helps. All right, I want you to address this, Lakeisha. Does forgiveness mean not addressing an emotional affair?
No, absolutely not. Part of the forgiveness is you have to address it. That's the only way it's going to be genuine, not the only way, but genuine forgiveness. You have to address it. You have to deal with it. I'm not really sure the I'm not really sure what's behind this question. Like, are we minimizing an emotional affair? I'm not sure like what the thought process is with that, but the reality is an affair is an affair. It's a betrayal. what it is. And so it does absolutely does not mean that you don't address it. You have to address it head on. You have to be honest about how you feel. You have to be honest about, there's a process that we go through with addressing affairs, period. You got to go through that process and you have to handle it appropriately. Otherwise, you'll be stuck.
Yeah. I think this is a great question. I want us all to kind of weigh in on this one. Nisha Stringfellow says, uh, question: how can couples begin the journey learning how to be friends when they have never had friendship in their marriage?
Wow.
Great question.
Wow.
Um, I honestly think that that is answered in what we do in day two during the workshop on the weekends, where we're actually working on trying to find common interests, common goals, and common uh, activities that can be done together, and through those experiences, sharing those experiences, that friendship can spark.
I
Lakeisha?
I listen, I love it because what I'm thinking about is you are actually beginning a new relationship. Because
Yeah.
what you're saying is you never had a friendship before, right? So you're starting literally from ground zero, which is amazing to me because you get to release everything from the past, you get to leave it where it is, and you get to start completely over. So I'm excited about whomever this is because you literally it's like the first day you met. Like you we're supposed to be friends first. So Jeff, I'm right there with you. You have to find what are those common interests, what are the goals. You can start dreaming, you can start planning. This is a really good space to be in. I love it. So how you began the journey of learning how to be friends, treat people how you want to be treated. What do you want friendship to look like for yourself? And I'm assuming you have friendships outside of your marriage. So what was the foundation of those friendships? Common interests. Just start with the basics. Don't make it deep. Doesn't have to be complex. What do you like? What I like? We just start off with common interests. But I love it. This is a good place to be in. Awesome.
That's a phenomenal question, and both those answers were
It is.
perfectly said. And what a great time to start at the beginning of a new year. One of the
Yes.
things that we talk about is the importance of having a word, right? A one word theme for your marriage. What if it was friendship? Because to your point,
Yeah.
a lot of couples don't start off as friends. There's a high sexual, emotional intensity that draws them together, and they're having sex right away. And maybe that relationship didn't take time to develop. In fact, there's
Mhm.
something called relationship developmental lag. According to relationship developmental lag, if a person is in a relationship, let's just say for a year, and they engaged in sex month one, right? According to relationship developmental lag, their relationship is only 1 month old, even though they've been in a relationship for a year,
Yeah.
because they jumped into something too quickly. The relationship didn't have enough time to properly develop, because now the focus is on breasts and penises and vaginas and thighs and hips and when I can get into your pants. And if there's this intensity, and so the foundation wasn't there. So now when that in love infatuation goes away, because it only lasts for about 2 years on average, what do we have to fall back on? See, when we were in crisis on the verge of divorce, when we didn't like each other anymore, we had our friendship to fall back on, because it kind of started that way, you
Mm.
know? And I think it's important that if you didn't have that starting out, listen, learn how to be friends. And I think, Lakeisha, to your point, you have other friends. What makes those friendships unique and special? What is the draw? What is the connection? What is the attraction? What is the foundation of that connection? Get a book on friendship, how to be friends with your spouse. Like, there's so many things that you can do, but I think that in order for a relationship to be sustainable, there's got to be a friendship involved. Guys, you are watching Ask the Experts. We're going to go to a quick commercial break before we get back. Oh, do you have any group intensives for February 22? Yes, we do. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you doing that, or whoever did that. But yes, it's actually going to be the second weekend of February, February the 11th through the 13th, a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Listen, guys, Valentine's Day this year is on a Monday. It's on a Monday. So you got to have something to do that weekend before. Why not restart, revive, reconnect, restore, whatever word you want to put after re, do that too by coming to the Last Chance weekend. So listen, the description is in the link. You can sign up for it, get registered today. That is actually filling up. I think it's gonna be an amazing weekend that we're really excited about. But listen, you're watching Ask the Experts. We'll be right back in just a second.
To the wives struggling to move forward, I know that you're hurt, filled with doubt, fear, anger, and resentment. I know you're trying to be your best self throughout this recovery process, all while still having to be mom, daughter, sister, friend, and so much more. I know it feels impossible to be there for everyone else when at times your journey feels so isolated and alone. I know that more than once a day, you scream on the inside, I can't take this anymore. I know there are days when you feel like you want to give up and run away. I know you spend too much time sitting in your car parked in the driveway to get your head right so that you can keep moving. I know this feels like a lot of work with no guarantees. And I know you wonder, what happened to me? Who am I? And why am I here? More than you'd like to admit. I know all of this because I once felt the way you do too. It may not be evident by looking around, because we all wear our masks, but you're not the only one who feels like you'll never get back to you. That's why I've launched Unearthed. Unearthed is a 12-week group coaching program focused on discovering the woman within. Just as the earth hides all kinds of precious stones waiting to be found, buried within every woman are the seeds of wisdom, strength, purpose, and passion waiting to be brought to the light. Unearthed will take you through a spiritual, emotional, and physical excavation process that will reveal to you who God designed you to be and guide you through a process to embrace and activate your true identity. When you complete this journey, you'll have a new focus aligned with your core values so that you can begin to feel your life again and discover that your gifts aren't buried, but planted and waiting to be unearthed. Register today.
Yep, that's the Unearthed program, the 12-week program for women. Man, I'll tell you, that program is filling up. I don't know what it is, Jeff, but these women, they go after what they want. These dudes, I don't know what it is. They got to be coached.
They're scared, man. I scared them, Asani. They're scared of me. That's what it is.
It's something. It's something because, like, if it was a competition for whose course will fill up the first, I think we're not in a good position. Men, do what you have to do. And every woman who's watching me right now, look over at your man. If he's on the right or on the left side, look over at your man and say, what you gonna do? That program is for you. I'm going to get mine. You need to get yours. The Unearthed program, 12-week program for women. Make sure you make that happen. Let's get back to the questions. A question came. This is really for me. There was a PDF that you had offered via text, but I never got the file. It was on a video from 2 years ago entitled How to Keep Communication from Ruining Your Marriage. Thanks. Yeah, that's no longer available. That is an old video. I should re-edit it. What you can do, though, just get the book. You can get the book. It's from The Audacity of Marriage, 10 Principles of Lifelong Partnership. It's available on Amazon at $16. That chapter that we did have available at that time isn't available through that website. But if you email me at hpettiford@gmail.com, I think I can get that to you. But get the book because it's a phenomenal book. Now, here's a great question, guys. I want you all to weigh in on this one. It says, how is the best way to cope and get past the cheating when all three of us work together? Leaving our jobs is not an option. Quiet on the set. Cat got you.
I just don't believe that nothing is an option. I just have crazy radical faith, and I'm just like, look, the same way I got blessed with one job, I'll get blessed with another. So I struggle with it's not an option. But for you, if it's not an option, I honestly, the only thing I can think of in this particular space and time without knowing all the details is that there have to be some serious boundaries. Are there different shifts where you guys don't have to be working shifts at the same time? Is there another department you can go in? There has to be some separation there. I just don't know how you can thoroughly heal and recover, especially if it's fresh and it's new with having to see the affair partner every day.
In this economy, unless all three of you are executives, leaving is an option. I'm just saying. This economy, it's hard for people to find workers in every single field, in every single company. Right now, there is an employee shortage all the way up to the C-suite.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that's not an option.
And if you really truly do believe it is not an option, what I would encourage you to do is reach out to us, set up a discovery call, and let's really hear more about the situation. Because to be honest with you, like I think all of us have questions about your question. And I think if we got more details, I mean, the general principles that they gave you is absolutely true. But maybe there's some weird scenario that we are not aware of, and that's why we make ourselves available.
Yeah,
To
and
you.
there's been things like this before. I mean, Hassani, you've seen it with family members where there's a family member who cheated with a family member. You can't really escape your family member. There's a lot of pain and stress, but a lot of it's going to end up having to deal with things, being strong enough to deal with things and leave things in the past, setting those strong boundaries like Lakeisha was talking about, and being able to have open and honest conversations with all parties involved. Since you have to work together, it might take a different kind of couples therapy.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes. I want to get through as many questions as possible. Here's another question. What are the signs of insecurity in a marriage and individual? I do not want us to answer that question. I think that would make a perfect topic for our morning show to kind of walk through some real, bullet points that could really address that. So we're going to bypass that question because we want to turn that into an episode, and we will do that either this week or next week. That is promised. Here's another question. How do I help us get past this stage of us still being together but making no progress in the area of communication? Quickly, guys.
Last chance weekend. I'm just saying, I've never seen communication open up from a cold point like I see it during that weekend. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Just being
You
honest.
need help. You need a third party.
Yeah, and so one of the things that we do at the Last Chance Weekend is we help facilitate and navigate you through difficult, challenging conversations that you typically couldn't do on your own. We prepare you for those conversations. We're a part of the conversations. And then we teach you the rules of engagement on how to engage in breakthrough conversation. Most of the conversations you have, I would imagine, are problem focused, problem oriented. We teach you how to have solution oriented conversations that really allow for breakthrough and transformation in your relationship. And so
there's positive peer pressure, something that was not discussed a lot about the effects and the benefits of positive peer pressure.
Very, very, very true. So Last Chance Weekend, we highly recommend it. Listen, guys, I hope that you got something out of today's show. I see the other questions. We promise you that we will address them tomorrow. We'll only have 30 minutes for this show, but we appreciate you being on. Those questions will be at the top of the list on tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow and invite somebody to join the conversation. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on tomorrow night.